We basically built a brand that is one LLC parent company, but it works like a co-op. And so once we kind of pay investors off a certain amount, their principal with interest, us now a bunch of our distributions, in theory, once we have those to distribute, can be shared with the producers pro rata according to how many of the livestock we used they provided. And so the principle of the way we built the brand was that if this works, ultimately the producers are going to share in more of the food dollar, which is how you sustain stewardship in the first place. The ranches that are part of the Old Salt brand, the three founding ranches, there's five now, the three founding ranches manage about 180,000 acres between them.
Wow.
And there's probably about 4,000 head of mother cows plus some sheep, let's say 2,000 sheep on those three ranches. As a commodity producer, their net margin per head at the end of the year, uh, and by the way, in each case, there's no debt on the land. So they don't have to buy the land. They already have the land. Um, two of them have been owned since the 1800s, and one of them has been owned more recently by a person who had financial wealth, bought the land, doesn't know anything on it, right? So their net margin on calves sold through the conventional system in a decent year, call it an average year, think like $250 to $300. It's it's not very big, like my family, they could sell that land next year for $50 million, but their annual profit might be 250 to $300,000. And so the first regenerative decision they make basically is don't sell the land. We value being we value being like stewards and living this life with not a lot of cash more than we do cashing out. That is just, it's not a difference in system, that's just a difference in values. Um, what I think Old Salt can do, if it works, like our model says it can, is within 10 years, I can triple that net margin
Wow.
just based on sending their animals through a regional supply chain connected regionally to customers. Part of the longer term view is that at the same time as I aggregate these producers together to sell meat, we can aggregate our monitoring of ecological services together to set ourselves better, to put ourselves in a better position to sell carbon or biodiversity credits or to self insure, basically cooperation to try to get a better position in the market and return more, even beyond meat itself, to
Right.
these landscapes. Perhaps agritourism begins to be a revenue stream that is involved as well. But anyway, that I don't really want to increase these guys' margin by 10%. That doesn't make a difference. Already the decision they're making to live this life and not just cash out is far beyond the $50 million versus $300,000 spectrum, right?
Right.
I just want to make their daily lives and their ability to have their kids come in and be part of the next generation have enough margin in it to support a family vacation once in a while, to support the labor and ultimately the talent that, like, I just want kids to be like, yeah, I can envision, no, I'm not going to be a stockbroker, it's not going to give me that level of wealth, but heck, I might be able to make $100,000 a year and raise a family in this community. That's the difference that a regionalized food system can make. It's not going to make millionaires out of a bunch of ranches who are scraping by, but it can give them a good, meaningful life doing the kind of work that society desperately needs and which gives them fulfillment.